This is the Jaguar Den on the home of all things North Laurel, FM 98.5, and the Jaguar Broadcasting Network via North Laurel Nation. This is where we proudly highlight all our student athletes and band members. You'll see and hear from basketball, cross country, soccer, volleyball, bass fishing, baseball, softball, track and field, golf, tennis, archery, football, swimming, cheer, and dance. Thank you for joining us in the Den. This is the Jaguar Den on the home of all things North Laurel, FM 98.5, and the Jaguar Broadcasting Network via North Laurel Nation. This is where we proudly highlight all our student athletes and band members. You'll see and hear from basketball, cross country, soccer, volleyball, bass fishing, baseball, softball, track and field, golf, tennis, archery, football, swimming, cheer, and dance. Thank you for joining us in the Den. This is the Jaguar Den on the home of all things North Laurel, FM 98.5, and the Jaguar Broadcasting Network via North Laurel Nation. This is where we proudly highlight all our student athletes and band members. You'll see and hear from basketball, cross country, soccer, volleyball, bass fishing, baseball, softball, track and field, golf, tennis, archery, football, swimming, cheer, and dance. Thank you for joining us in the Den.
Well, I'm just hoping once it. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Palace. We are here on the Jaguar Broadcasting Network and excited to bring you the first of our new show called the Jaguar Den. This is something we have worked on the last few months, just really wanting to find a way to showcase all athletes at North Laurel High School, whether that be from archery, the band, a lot of the athletic teams and teams that feel like they don't get as much recognition as maybe our basketball and football programs. So, yeah, we're excited to be here tonight.
Yeah, we are. Thank you to Craig Tincher here at the Palace. But, our kind of vision with all of this was, basketball and football kind of grab all the headlines.
Yeah.
But with this monthly program, the Jaguar Den, we want to celebrate the hard work, the dedication, and highlight all sports, and the Jaguar Den will kind of be like an all-access pass to North Laurel Athletics, and we'll get to hear from some of our student athletes. Tonight we're going to highlight our archery program along with bass fishing. So we'll hear from some of our student athletes who participate in those sports. And then we'll close out tonight's segment with just something we're super excited about. This is the third class for the North Laurel High School Hall of Fame. And we're going to have our Hall of Fame inductees are going to call in and be live on the show with us tonight. So just very excited to get this up and off the ground. And thank you. Shout out to our sponsors and, Kip Jervis and all those who've worked so hard to expand our Jaguar Broadcasting Network and get us out on Facebook now and also on 98.5 WJTE.
All right, so this is Jalen Black, joined with Mike Black, and we will take a quick break. You're listening to the Jaguar Broadcasting Network on North Laurel Nation on Facebook, WJTE 98.5 FM. We'll be right back here from the Palace.
The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Palace here in London, Kentucky. This is Jalen Black, and I'm joined now with the archery head coach, Jason Ivey. Coach, thank you for bringing some of your team and coming here tonight to do this. We're very excited for this new show, and I'm excited to learn some more about some other sports, that we don't really know all the ins and outs of. So my first question, what would be a typical day of practice like for the archery team?
The Palace
started up and set up in the cafeterias where we've been practicing, and we start them out at 10 meters and shoot 3 or 4 rounds there, and then move back to 15 meters and just try to dial them in, make sure their bowls, equipment's, everything good to go for the tournaments. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned right then practicing in the cafeteria. As a coach, how excited are you for this new athletic facility that's going up behind the gym?
It's going to save us so much time. I can't wait for it. My son actually goes to the high school, so as soon as school's over, he goes in and starts setting everything up before I get off work. Mm-hmm. So once we get that, everything's going to be set, ready to roll, and we can just start shooting.
When you go and you're preparing every day in practices for these big tournaments, you have nationals coming up. That's huge. Obviously, that's what all these athletes work for. As a coach, what are you trying to put into these athletes' brains, these archers' minds, as they're, competing in a big competition?
That's the one great thing about archery. It's not like many other sports because it's 90% mental.
Yeah.
If they've got a good, strong mental game, they're positive in everything they're doing, and they don't get so tore up when they do have a bad arrow, they'll succeed. The archers that have that good, positive mental attitude, you can't beat them. So.
Yeah. How many different archery competitions would you say your team competes in every season?
We shot 9 regional tournaments this year that we went undefeated on. We won every one of them. Went to the KHSAA regional tournament. We actually won it. The male team did. So, and then we shot to course state, and we got nationals coming up Friday.
So, if there was someone here who doesn't know much about archery, what would you tell them about how awesome this sport is?
It is all inclusive. We've had kids at the national and state level that shot with disabilities. We've had kids in wheelchairs shoot. We had a child that actually had no arms shoot at the state tournament and shot well. They have mechanical devices that they can use. It's anybody can literally do this sport.
And I heard you mentioning over before the show started that you were a pastor.
Yeah.
What has it been like to add coaching onto your list of many leadership abilities that you have?
I've been an archery coach for going on this next year will be my 10th year, and it's part of my ministry. I pastor at Sinking Creek Church here in London, and we got a lot of youth in the church, but we got 40 kids on the high school team, and I'm also the head coach at the middle school. We got 40 kids there. So 3 times a week, I get to minister to these kids day in and day out and try to be that positive role model in their life.
Well, that's awesome. So congratulations, Coach, and good luck going into nationals. We'll be rooting for you and your team.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right. So that was Coach Jason Ivey, the head coach of the archery team. We'll step aside. You're listening to the Jaguar Broadcasting Network on WJTE 98.5 FM in North Laurel Nation on Facebook. We'll be back from the Palace.
The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
All right, we're live here now, back at the Palace for your first episode of the new Jaguar Den show. I'm joined now by Archer Ashlyn Osborne and Archer Douglas Estep. So thank you guys for coming out tonight. We're really excited to do this. First question I want to ask you both is, when did you get into archery?
I got into archery my 5th grade year of elementary school at Bush Elementary. I've been doing it now. I'm a senior in high school, and it's just been a hit and run since 5th grade. I've loved it. It's been my sport. There's nothing more I can really say about it.
And how about you, Douglas?
I got into it about 4th grade,
Mhm.
Hazel Green Elementary,
Awesome.
and I mean, I didn't do it 6th and 7th year because I kind of lost interest, but then 8th grade year came around and I gained interest back, and I've been doing it since then. So it's kind of been off and on.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then on that note, how often do you guys practice individually, on your own skills?
Individually, I practice about once a week, but I have practiced about we have practiced twice a week.
Gotcha.
So I practice a total of like 3 times a week for me.
Well, I sometimes practice at home too, so it's kind of like all throughout the week.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just kind of stay with practicing and stuff like that.
What areas of your archery do you feel are your most confident, your best area?
Most confident?
Yes, like what a certain range that you shoot from, like
Best range to shoot at for me is not Hunter Hills. It's Hazel Green Elementary. The 10-meter
Nice.
shoot is always my favorite shoot. It has been since 5th grade, and I've always loved it.
What about you? You got any preferences, places you like to shoot at?
I also prefer Hazel Green just because it feels like home because I shot there,
Yeah.
and I've been there about all my life. So
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about the equipment you guys use. Obviously, it's bow and arrow sport, but honestly, like me, I don't know a whole lot about it. So is there anything, you'd like to tell people who don't know much about archery?
So we use a Genesis type bow. It's a no sight. You have no sight. You're based off the arrow, which is I don't know how long the arrow is scientifically, but there's 3 fletchings on it. Usually 2 are the same color and 1 is an odd color, and the odd color always goes towards you. And you just put the arrow on. It's kind of self-explanatory. It's not hard, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's more of a mental game.
That's it. That was going into my next question. Coach Ivy talked about how archery is such a different sport from others because it is 90% mental for the most part.
Yes.
And that was leading into my next question. When you're in competitions, how do you guys handle the pressure?
The biggest way I handle pressure, and I've done it since I was a kid, was pray. I always have prayed before an archery meet, and I've always have just stayed myself. Usually for me, I have bad anxiety, so I have to take myself and regain myself. So I usually count to 10 before I start shooting. I just make sure my feet's right, and you just pray before you do it.
I love it. What about you?
I just take deep breaths.
Yeah.
Constantly. And when I'm on the line, I do the same thing. But behind the line, I try to cut up with my friends. Get my mind off me shooting, and that just helps me focus more because then I can, focus on doing good.
Yeah. So you guys have nationals coming up soon.
Yes.
And Coach Ivy mentioned how you guys competed in 9 regional competitions and were undefeated on the season. Just kind of talk about your mindset going into nationals. I assume it's the last meet of the season.
It's my official last tournament.
Yeah.
My mindset, because I am a senior, I'm a mess. This has been my sport since I was a kid. And going into nationals, I'm fully prepped. I'm fully ready. But at the same time, it's kind of just a heartfelt moment.
Yeah.
And I want to cry because archery has been such a big sport for me because many people may not know, but my mom was a softball phenom. So for me, this is totally different because my mom didn't do this. So I was the first one. And it just sucks. It sucks that it's ending, but I'm also happy about it to be able to move on to new things.
Absolutely. How are you feeling heading into nationals?
I've always loved nationals, going into the Expo Center. I've always loved it. And I can't wait to do it again. Every single year I've been, it's been a blast.
Absolutely. All right. So this has been Ashlyn Osborne and Douglas Estep on the North Laurel Archery team. We'll step aside for a quick break. You're listening to the Jaguar Broadcasting Network on North Laurel Nation on Facebook and WJTE 98.5. We will be back at the Palace.
Country gospel, you have found source. It's the light of London 98.5 for the London for the very best country and Southern gospel.
We are the Light of London, 98.5, providing you with some of the very best gospel music around. And you can take us with you anywhere you go. For more information, visit us at www.lightoflondon.com.
All right, welcome back to the Palace, everyone. This is Jalen Black here for the very first show of the Jaguar Den. I'm joined now by Kaylee Martin and Blake Taylor of the North Laurel Archery team. So, guys, really happy to have you guys here on the show. Talk little bit about why archery is your favorite sport. So, first question, when did you get into archery?
I started in 4th grade with my coach, Curtis Storm, at EB.
Awesome.
How
about you?
I started in 4th grade with Curtis Storm at EB.
Okay, so we got some EB Wildcats here. And did you guys continue playing archery all through middle school and now into high school?
I did. I shot both years in middle, all 3 years in middle school, and this is my 2nd year in the high school, and I shot 2 years in elementary school.
Awesome.
I also shot all years except for 7th grade.
Gotcha. So we talked a little bit about how this was a mental game. Are there any superstitions you guys have before competitions where, you kind of do like maybe a ritual or something before you shoot?
I check my arrows a lot. That's what I do.
Gotcha.
I like to place my feet down and then shuffle them back and forth.
Awesome. So just talk a little bit about the sport of archery and how big it's been in your all's lives.
Archery, it's been really big. Like, I found a bunch of friends in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have found some of my closest friends on the archery team, and it's just been a big, even Coach Ivy, who's one of my biggest, inspirations.
Yeah. So we're the Light of London, WJTE.
So we have nationals coming up. What are your thoughts, though, on the season so far?
I think we've had a very great season. We went, we didn't lose a tournament.
Undefeated.
We went undefeated in the regular season. And then we did come up 3rd in region, but the boys won. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys feel pretty good going into nationals?
Yeah, I think we're going to do pretty good.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about the gear that you guys use, like what kind of bow you're using.
The gear, what bow?
Yeah.
We use a Genesis bow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then we use the Genesis arrows. That's all I use. Other people use a bunch of other stuff. Some people use baby powder for their fingers, but I just
We're like one of those straps on their fingers, but I don't use that.
Oh, okay. I have seen that. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about when it comes to scoring. What is the scoring like in archery?
Each round, you get a practice round before 10 and 15, and the 10 meters, you get 3 rounds, and you score 5 arrows for that, and then you do the same thing for 15, and all over you get a 50.
Nice.
You get 300 for the whole tournament, but each round individually is 50.
Okay, so what is your all's personal best scores then?
I've shot at 284, I think.
Wow.
My highest.
My highest is a 278.
That's awesome. Just wanted, for the record, I did try out for the archery team in elementary school at Johnson Elementary. Wasn't even strong enough to pull the bow back. So safe to say I did not make the team, but I did try. And tell me a little bit about this season and your favorite memory.
My favorite memory was probably the bus ride to Letcher County.
That's mine too. We stopped at this gas station. It was so bad. They didn't even have a restroom. We had to go to the porta potty.
Oh gosh,
it was so bad.
And now I want to hear a little bit about your all's thoughts on Coach Jason Ivy and what he's meant to you as a mentor and a coach.
I love Jason Ivy. He's one of my biggest role models. Every day I'm just trying to impress him. But I know at the end of the day, anything I could do could impress him. I could sit there in the back and not do anything, and still be enough for him.
What about you?
On our reminds, when he sends us reminds, he always sends us an inspirational quote that it just makes our day better.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and good luck at nationals coming up.
Thank you.
Of course, this has been Kaylee Martin and Blake Taylor here at the Jaguar Den at the Palace. We will step aside. You're listening to North Laurel Nation on Facebook and WJTE 98.5.
The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Jalen Black here on North Laurel Nation and WJT 90.5 for the Jaguar Den. I'm joined now by head coach of the North Laurel High School bass fishing team, Jonathan Sizemore. Coach, thank you for joining us here tonight. First things first, you're in your first year as head coach here. What has this been like stepping into this new role?
It's been great. I've stepped in. It's been we had a good foundation to build off of, and really had a great turnout. We had 17 boats that we end up having on our team this year. All of them really caught fish. Very successful season. I'm really thinking it's been a great first season.
Absolutely. So state championship coming up, and later on we'll have two of the qualifying fishermen here on the show. Braden Howard and Joe Clay Durham. They're two seniors here and have been partners, I believe, for several years. Talk about their team as a whole and how they work together here.
Yeah, see, I'm Joe Clay and Braden's boat captain also. Before I took the position as the coach, I was their captain. So I've been captain the whole time. It's really a good combination. They both caught one of them caught a fish and the other one caught 4 at the region. The biggest challenge that I have on my boat is Joe Clay likes to take breaks on me. He likes to take a few breaks, and he told me in the last time, he said he caught his one fish. He done what he was there to do, so he took him a little break. So he likes to do that, and we have a great time on the boat, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, so something similar with archery. Bass fishing is one of those sports that a lot of people, aren't familiar with and how things work, especially at the high school level. So talk a little bit about what a week is like as head coach. Like how many times you guys go out on the lake and practice?
Well, what we do is fishing's a little bit different. Where you got to have a boat captain.
Yeah.
For every fisherman. Obviously, boats are expensive, so the boat captain has to provide the boat. So that makes it a little difficult on practice. A few things that we tried to do. We tried to get together and have work on time baits on and just work on tying knots and getting together. But we also spent time what we could as a boat captain. We'd go practice, and their boat captains go practice. We recommend that. They spend a few days. What we do is we have 4 tournaments. We had 4 tournaments in the fall and 4 tournaments in the spring. Okay. And we run a point system in that. And with that point system, we determine the top 6 that got to go to region. So something I am learning in my first year is how to be more effective with practice and things we can do, because it makes it difficult when the kid, the adult in the boat also has to be there to be able to practice.
All right. So coming up, state tournament as a coach, kind of what are some things you're talking about to your fishermen who are participating in this kind of, on the mental aspect of things? What are you telling them to kind of calm nerves? Well,
we just go fish, fish and relax. Thing we get to do, we get to leave tomorrow and we go practice for 3 days. So we get 3 days. And one thing that's been awesome, we had a house we stayed in for region, and now we're staying, both teams that made it, got Braden and Joe Clay, and then McGuire and Blaine, we're staying in a house together. So it'd be an opportunity to be able to talk to them and then work on things and just talk about how the fish are biting. And so it just takes a little time trying to figure that out. When we get over there, hopefully we'll figure it out in practice. Absolutely. And now I just want to hear a little bit about what this change has been like for you being a head coach, and kind of how these kids have all changed your life. It's been awesome. It's at first I was trying to figure out, I had all the things and what I was going to do, but being around these young men are awesome. They've been wonderful to be around. The parents have been awesome. The boat captains, we've had parents that's provided meals. It's been one of the most awesome experiences that I've done. I'm really excited about it, excited about what the program's going to be doing next. Like I said, we had 17 boats on our team this year that competed in every tournament. One thing that we need though, we need some all female. Yeah, we need an all female teams, and it's something we don't have that really I'd like to try to get out there that we could get, because females now have their own region and their own state tournament.
That's awesome.
And so we need to get an all female team on there. One thing we'd like to do. That's one thing we'd like to work toward. But it's been great. It's just been a wonderful experience. Like I said, we've got every young man that was on the team was just they great to talk to, all the way down to middle school. We have middle schoolers all the way to seniors, and just good group to be around. It's been an adjustment though, trying to figure out how to do the tournaments and how to get them, figure out ways to help. And I think next year, one thing that's going to be a little bit different is where I'm not boat captain, I'll be able to do a few different things.
Yeah, be more involved. And one thing I want to ask about is the sponsorships. Especially in like professional fishing, you see all these guys who have big name brand sponsorships. Talk a little bit about some of your all sponsors and what they do and provide for your team.
Well, I know we have Philpott Enterprise. We got Blue Water Marine, IGA, Aces Co. Man, there's so many on there. Dr. House, House Veterinarian sponsored us. My mind's went a little blank on that.
You on the spot, just what do they do? Like
fishing permissions. Well, they donated. We set up a donation system or a sponsor system for our jerseys, and they get a spot on our jerseys, and then we had, for a certain amount, you get the front and you get the arms. And then also we've had people here recently. I know Jaguar alumni helped us out, and some other ones. And throughout the year, what we done is we had some calendar fundraisers, different things. But it was nice. We was able to buy jerseys, hats for our boys. We got pullovers. We was able to pay for. We fished in one SAF tournament, a big tournament, and we used it as one of our team tournaments. But also it was like a 90-boat tournament. So that's got entry fees. We paid for the entry fees on that. We was able to pay for the house and different things at region, and that we was able to provide for them. We had groceries, had all the food. So all the sponsorship money's been well appreciated. And I'm sorry if I missed any. I'm trying to thank Top Gun, which that one's easy to remember. That's my dad. So, but Realtor, Century 21, Jesse Sizemore, he's assistant coach. So I better throw him in there. I better get him in there. So, but no, we had several different sponsors. It was great. And they really helped us. And fishing's very expensive. It's a very expensive thing. And when you start traveling with 6-7 boys and any tournament, when you got 17 boats and it's $30 to $50 entry fees, you're talking about $500-600. So we couldn't have done the things that we done this year without our sponsors. We really appreciate them and what they've done.
Absolutely. All right. So this has been Jalen Black with head coach Jonathan Sizemore of the North Laurel Bass Fishing Team. We'll step aside, take one more break, and be right back to hear from some of our fishermen. You're listening on North Laurel Nation Facebook or WJT 98.5 live from the Palace.
This is the Jaguar Den, on the home of all things North Laurel, FM 98.5, and the Jaguar Broadcasting Network via North Laurel Nation. This is where we proudly highlight all our student athletes and band members. You'll see and hear from basketball, cross country, soccer, volleyball, bass fishing, baseball, softball, track and field, golf, tennis, archery, football, swimming, cheer, and dance. Thank you for joining us in the Den. The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
Country gospel, you have found the source It's the Light of London 98.5 for the old and new. And somewhere in between, we are the Light of London for the very best country and southern gospel.
We are the Light of London, 98.5, providing you with some of the very best gospel music around. And you can take us with you anywhere you go. For more information, visit us at www.lightoflondon.com.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Jaguar Den live on North Laurel Nation on Facebook and WJT 98.5 here from the Palace in London. We are joined now by two of our fishermen who are heading to the state championship, Braden Howard and Joe Clay Durham, both seniors here and possibly fishing, your last tournament coming up. But first question I want to start with you guys was, when did you first get into fishing?
I've been fishing since I was, 6 years old, just my whole life. And I started fishing high school stuff in 7th grade. And then I've just done it my whole life pretty much. I fish all the time, even if it's not high school stuff.
What about you?
I've been pond fishing since I was little, but this dude didn't ask me to lake fish till my sophomore year. And I'm still trying to learn the ropes. So.
All right, so we talked with Coach Sizemore a little bit, and Joe Clay, he kind of called you out, said his only issue with you is you enjoy taking breaks on the boat. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's hard not to when Jonathan's your boat captain. You need every single break you can get. I mean.
So, Braden, Jonathan, obviously your uncle, what's it been like? He's been your boat captain for a while, but what's it been like him stepping into this new head coaching position this year?
It's been fun. Me and him fish together all the time, high school or not, and it's just been fun. He loves it, and he's very passionate about it, and it's been fun to watch him do it. He enjoys it, and he's done really good with it so far.
So talk a little bit about the regional tournament, where it was held, what lake it was on.
Braden can give you the spot details and all that, but I'll talk about the first day of the tournament. Me and Braden were up early. I don't know before 5. We was heading down there in the car to the lake, and I said, "Whoa, Braden, Van Halen's playing." I said, "That's a good sign, man." Because we've been listening to Van Halen all practicing. In memory of this that's not the right term. For this show, in honor of that tournament, I've got on a Sammy Hagar t-shirt, lead singer of Van Halen from 85 to 96. And man, that's just, in honor of that. And I knew when that song came on, it actually was a David Lee Roth song that was playing, but I knew that was a good, I knew it was a good sign. Go ahead, Braden.
To your question, it was on Cumberland this year, out of Burnside. With the other lake we fish on was flooded this year, so they had to move it. It was definitely different. The lake was super trashy. There was stuff floating everywhere, so it was tough to get to some of the places you wanted to fish, but we ended up finding just enough to qualify, and it was overall a good day.
What was your all's total weight that you caught?
912.
And that got you what place? 8th place. Yeah. All right. Talk about, you guys are both seniors, and Joe Clay, you also been playing tennis, but sports are always play a big role in people's lives. And part of the reason we're doing this show is we want to shed a light, on some of the teams that don't get all of the recognition, like maybe our football or our basketball programs. What is it about bass fishing that you guys just love that just draws you into the sport?
I've done it my whole life, and just I love to compete, and just the competitive side of it in high school fishing was so fun. And you got to put the time into it. It's not just something you can go out there and do and just be good at all of a sudden. Take Joe Clay for example. But just having to put the time in and actually work at it, and the competitive aspect of it is so fun.
Absolutely. And so you're heading into the state championship, and I don't know if you have plans to go to the college level and fish. Probably not. But so this means this is your last tournament coming up. What are you guys going to focus in most on?
I'm just going to try to fish out the duration of the tournament. Try not to take as many breaks, even though it's hard not to.
Yeah, good stuff. Just going out there and having fun. If you go out there and too serious about it, it gets a little tough. If you go out there and have a good time, and you're supposed to catch fish that day, I guess you will. It's just about having fun, especially it being our last one. We have fun out there, even though we go at each other all day, but it's still a good time.
And where's the state championship held?
It's on Cumberland.
Cumberland.
It's on the other end of the lake. Shouldn't be as trashy, so hopefully
Gotcha.
we don't tear up nothing on the boat again.
Now, talk a little bit about some of the rules, things that get you disqualified, stuff like that in fishing.
Well, like Braden does every tournament, if we have people bring us fish, if we have extra fish in the live well, if we put weights in the fish's mouth, I'm joking. But no, it's anything like that, putting weight in the fish, bringing in a dead fish and weighing, that'll take poundage off. Showing up with a fish in the live well, that's probably instant DQ, ain't it?
Yep. You got to wear your life jacket all day.
Yeah.
Joe Clay don't like to do that. But fishing areas you're not supposed to. They get you for that too. But Joe Clay hit the big ones, stuff we do not do.
Yeah. We that's a joke.
All right, so let's just hope you guys don't do that in the state tournament coming up, and we'll be wishing y'all good luck, hoping you come out with a win. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. This has been Braden Howard and Joe Clay Durham on the North Laurel Bass Fishing Team. We'll step aside. We're live here from the Palace for the first show of the Jaguar Den. You're listening on North Laurel Nation on Facebook and WJTE 98.5, The Light of London.
Hi, my name is Mike Black, the principal at North Laurel High School. I'm joined by Athletic Director Ethan Everso, and we're excited that you've tuned in to the Jaguar Broadcasting Network. The Jaguar Broadcasting Network was a dream of mine to be able to showcase the talents of not only our student athletes, but our students who are actively involved in creating commercials, working behind the scenes in video production, and we're excited to see where this venture leads.
If you want to see your name or business come across the screen in one of our commercials done by our awesome sports marketing class, feel free to reach out to the school. You can contact me via email or via phone. We can make that happen for you. Thank you for tuning in to the Jaguar Broadcasting Network.
Go Jag.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're here live from the Palace in London for the first episode of the Jaguar Den. We just got through talking with archery head coach and some of the archers on the team, and now we're here with two of our fishermen on the North Laurel Bass Fishing Team. This is Blaine Smith and Jaguar Den. How are you guys doing? Thank you all for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it.
Doing good.
So you are our second team that's heading to the state tournament here. Talk a little bit about the regional tournament and how that experience was.
Well, the regional tournament, we I think 2 days pre-fish, and it was at Cumberland this year. It transitioned from Green River because it was too flooded. And, nobody's really expecting that. And the 2 days pre-fishing,
You're good. Just tell me a little bit about what were the conditions like? Was it rainy that morning when you all went out on the boat, or?
Well, the first day pre-fishing, it was sunny. It was nice, about 80 degrees. The second day, it was just pouring the rain all day.
So you all were prepared for any kind of weather conditions at that point?
We had a little pattern going down, and it really wasn't going to change due to the weather, so we was good.
Yeah. What place did you guys make in the region tournament?
I believe we placed 10th out of the regional tournament. We had just a little bit over 9 pounds.
Nice.
Following in 6 ounces behind Braden and his team. Our pattern worked pretty good. Up on the last day, it started to slow down because of front. Went through, which hurt us a little bit. We probably could have done a lot better. But overall, it worked out pretty good. So.
Yep. Talk about how, when you first started fishing, obviously most people grow up fishing, in ponds, things like that. But as for me, it was only a couple of weeks ago that I ever went out on a bass boat for the first time.
Right.
You guys remember, when you first really started getting into this?
Yeah, so my dad, I always grew up trout fishing with him, and that's how I got into it. And it just, he always took me with him. And, ever since then, I've just fell in love with it, and I ain't stopped. So that's it.
What about you?
I can't really remember when I first started fishing, but I remember I had a little Spider-Man rod
Yeah.
I used to fish with. And caught a lot of pond fish after that. And moved on to lake fishing with my dad and got into the school fishing team. And it's, up to my knowledge, tenfold fishing in general.
Yeah. So, how many years have you guys been a part of the North Laurel Bass Fishing Team?
Well, we started as soon as we could, 7th grade, and we went to elementary school together. We've always known each other, and then 7th grade when we really got tight and started fishing together. And ever since then, we just,
That's awesome.
yeah,
So, you would say that fishing's been a big part in strengthening your all's friendship for sure?
absolutely, yeah. It's it was a friendship to a brotherhood. We're brothers.
That's
now.
awesome. Yeah. So heading in to nationals, we get talking about, the state tournament. Fishing is a different sport when it comes to other things like, basketball. You can get in the gym and practice, but this is a whole different thing,
Right,
and there is a little bit of luck that plays into it. Obviously, you spend a lot of time preparing. What is, the week heading into the state tournament like for you guys?
Well, we start fishing tomorrow, pre-fishing, and we're gonna see how we do. It's a totally different side of the lake than what the regions was on. So, yeah, we might try our pattern that was working, but it could be totally just off.
Yeah.
So we'll have those 3 days to pre-fish and determine what's gonna work for us.
Absolutely. And Coach Sizemore talked about how, thanks to all of your all sponsors this season, you guys were able to get a house for the state tournament.
Yeah.
So, what are y'all's thoughts having to stay in the same house as Braden Howard and Joe Clay Durham?
That's going to be fun. We've done it before. We'll do it again. It was fun last time. Might be even more fun this time. I don't know.
Yeah, they're good guys. They're good guys.
To me, that's the best part about sports, just the memories. That's things you'll remember.
Absolutely,
You won't really remember the specific fish you caught or what weight you caught that day, but you'll remember, the good times you spent with your teammates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And with that being said, do you have any kind of memorable moments from this season?
This season, no, not really.
It's been kind of a slow season. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. We made it into region by the skin of our teeth. It was just barely.
Yeah.
But we pulled through, and it's just every year fishing is just it's a blessing being out there and spending time with each other. It's just awesome. So I think every year is just fabulous. Great.
Absolutely. All right. Well, guys, good luck at the state championship. We'll be rooting you all on, and thank you for joining us. This has been Blaine Smith and McGuire Day here on the Jaguar Den, live from the Palace. We'll step aside. You're listening to the Jaguar Broadcasting Network on North Laurel Nation on Facebook and WJTE 98.5 FM.
This is the Jaguar Den on the home of all things North Laurel, FM 98.5, and the Jaguar Broadcasting Network via North Laurel Nation. This is where we proudly highlight all our student athletes and band members. You'll see and hear from basketball, cross country, soccer, volleyball, bass fishing, baseball, softball, track and field, golf, tennis, archery, football, swimming, cheer, and dance. Thank you for joining us in the Den.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the first episode of the Jaguar Den live from the Palace. This is Jalen Black, joined now by my dad, Mike Black, and we're excited to head into this final portion here. We started off the evening, the show, hearing from some of our archers and head coach Jason Ivey from the North Laurel Archery team. Then we heard a word from head coach Jonathan Sizemore and the Bass Fishing team and our two boats that are heading to the state tournament. So that brings us in here to our final segment.
Yeah, I'm sure we had some very entertaining segment there with Braden Howard and Joe Clay Durham.
Yep.
Got to be careful there. Could have turned into comedy hour, but we are excited about this last portion of our program. As you know, we have our Jags Gala coming up on Thursday, May the 8th at the Creek. Part of that, we induct our Hall of Fame inductees. The vision of mine before I retired was to have a Athletic Hall of Fame and to do a Jags Gala. And both of those have come to fruition, and we'll be inducting our third Hall of Fame class on Thursday night. And we're excited to have them on the air tonight. And we're going to lead off with class of 2008 Hall of Fame inductee in 2025, Abby Sears. Abby, are you on the line with us?
I'm here.
All right. Well, Abby, we're excited to have you. Congratulations on your induction.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, how does it feel to be honored like this by your alma mater?
Honestly, I was shocked, but I'm super grateful. Everyone has been so sweet since it was announced, and it is humbling. So I'm just very thankful. Everyone has been very, very supportive, and it's been really nice.
Well, you're very deserving, and we're excited to honor you on Thursday night, and we're excited to have you on tonight. And Jalen's gonna ask the hard questions now, so I don't get blamed for asking the hard questions.
All right,
Well-
absolutely. Hello, Miss Jalen.
Hello, Abby. How are you doing?
I am just lovely. How are you? You're doing a
I'm
great
great.
job.
Thank you. This feels like a flashback to the past.
It
You
does.
know, I remember there's a very famous
know.
picture. We have got to find it. Me and a couple of my other travel softball teammates rocking the signature big ab bun on our head. Abby Sears was one of our role models we looked up to in the sport of softball, and that's who we all wanted to be like one day. So it's awesome that you're getting this honor of being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You know, the signature picture of everybody in their big ab hair. I love it.
Yeah. So, question I want to ask you was, do you remember a specific game or moment that really defined your high school and athletic career?
That is a good question. I do remember maybe the first big moment. I think I was in 7th grade, and we were playing Dixie Heights in the state tournament, and I was put in to pitch that game. So I got to start and I got to pitch the whole game. So I was in 7th grade, and that was awesome. So we were in the state tournament. I think it gave me some confidence that kind of carried through over the years. So it's probably my first big moment that I think really made it real for me.
Yeah, I remember my big moment that I remember, and Jalen was, she was too young to remember this. I think it's my second year as principal, may have been first, that we lost to Greenwood in the state championship. Would that have been your senior year, Abby?
Yes, that was it. That, if you ask me the most heartbreaking memory, that's probably
That would be it.
I
Yeah.
still cannot watch our highlight video from that year. There are certain songs that were on it I still cannot listen to. So it's been a long time, but I'm still not completely over it.
Yeah, we'll never get over that. I remember that vividly. Tell us a little bit about who had the biggest impact on you during your time as a student athlete at North Laurel. You know, maybe a coach, a teammate, or a family member.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of my parents, extremely supportive. They have been my entire life, still super supportive. My dad was always he always coached when I played, and, you know, we butted heads. I'm sure you guys can relate as like a father-daughter duo. We butted heads a lot as I was playing throughout the years, but I'd say that he's probably been the biggest part of it, pushing me, you know, always taking me to tournaments. Thinking back on how much time and money that my parents spent, it's kind of crazy, and you don't really appreciate it at the time. But definitely my parents. You know, my dad was always taking me to Nashville for pitching lessons, taking me to Bowling Green to practice with my summer team. So he played a real role in that.
Shout out to Scott and Teresa. Yeah.
Absolutely. John Teresa, the homies.
But you know, no, Jalen and I never butted heads. No, she would never yell back at me or nothing like that. So don't have a clue what you're talking about there.
At least you never threw a bat at me like Abby Dagley's grandfather did once.
Yes.
She still never lets that story live
That's
down.
true.
Okay, so my next question, Abby, is about kind of your teammates. Was there a favorite team tradition or locker room memory that you can share with us?
You know, I mean, we had so many good times, and that is obviously what I miss the most. You don't realize how much, you know, you're going to miss that whenever you're with each other every day. Not sure about like a locker room moment, but we were always all just so close, you know, bus rides. I know that you can relate to that as well, but bus rides, just talking nonstop. We knew everything about each other. We probably got on each other's nerves. That's probably my favorite thing. Not necessarily like a specific kind of thing, but yeah, just any time with the team was amazing.
So you went on to play at Union College after just a legendary career at North Laurel. Talk to us a little bit about that path to Union College and your successes there at Union.
Yeah. So it honestly, I didn't think I was going to go play anywhere. I was at a certain point where I thought that I was burnt out, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved it, but I thought I wanted to just go to school, but then it started creeping up on me, and I couldn't give it up, which I'm very glad I didn't, because I had a great time. I think my high school coach at the time was Coach Weaver, and he had known the Union coach, and I think they have very similar coaching styles, and I really loved Coach Weaver and his coaching style. Played with him played for him for many years during summer ball in high school. So that's kind of how I got in there. And then it was obviously kind of close to home. I'm close to my family, so I was happy to be closer than I had anticipated. And then while I was there, I got to pitch a little, got to play shortstop. We usually did double headers, and I would do one game and one the other. So I really enjoyed that. I was always pitching, so I loved when I got to play shortstop. That was probably like the fun games, whereas the pitching games were had a little more pressure. So,
yeah, it took a little pressure off to.
3 years is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it took a little pressure off to play shortstop, and a lot of pressure being in that circle.
Absolutely. I liked it. I did like it.
Well, Abby, what advice would you give to students today playing softball? Any advice that you would give them looking back on your career as a softball player? The cliche, don't take it for granted, but I truly mean it. I know practice, all the extra practice, all that, it's exhausting. It's sometimes annoying, but embrace it. Take it for what it is. And I wish that I could go back and be more confident. At the time, you don't realize what's going on. You just know, like, you're playing every day, you're practicing. But I think that channeling your inner confidence is a big part of it. And so I think that that's what people should focus on a lot of the time. I didn't do that, and I kind of regret it. So yeah, that's great advice. Yeah.
All right. To close out here, Abby, do you have any final words for your former teammates, coaches, and your school?
Love all of you. Love everyone. Miss everyone. It was the best years of my life. I truly mean that. I would not change a thing except maybe that Greenwood game. I'd definitely change that.
I hated to bring that up, but that was just one moment that, for me, like I said, that I remember pretty vividly. But Abby, we're super excited that you jumped on here tonight to join us, and we look forward to seeing you on Thursday night.
Yeah, thank you all for having me. Can't wait to see y'all, and we can celebrate a little more. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Well, that's Abby Sears, 2025 North Laurel High School. We'll be right back.
The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
You have found the source. It's the light of London 98.5 for the old and new. And somewhere in between, we are the light of London for the very best of country and southern gospel.
We are the Light of London 98.5, providing you with some of the very best gospel music around. And you can take us with you anywhere you go. For more information, visit us at www.lightoflondon.com.
All right. Hi, welcome back here to the first episode of the Jaguar Den, live from the Palace in London. We just heard from our first 2025 North Laurel Hall of Fame inductee, Abby Sears, and we're very excited now to have our second, Ashley Woolham, here on the phone with us today.
Hello, Ashley.
Hi. Oh,
Hey,
hi.
well, first off, congratulations on your induction to the North Laurel Athletic Hall of Fame.
Oh, thank you. It's a really big honor.
Well, good. Again, just kind of, talk to us a little bit about, we talked earlier that we're going to introduce our class at the Jags Gala on Thursday night, but we don't get a chance really to ask questions. We're going to hear from you all on that night, but take us back to your high school days and kind of talk about what the sports you played. You were a track and field superstar and played some basketball. Tell us what drew you to those sports.
Yeah, so I've always been a really active kid when I was growing up, and a lot of my friends wanted to join the track team when we got into middle school from elementary school. And at first I was a little skeptical, like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, but they talked me into it, and then we started running together and we started having a really fun time. So that's how I got into track and field. And then basketball, I always liked playing like with my family. My dad would play with me when I was in elementary school. So I always loved the sport from that time. So that's what made me continue to pursue it as I got older.
Hi, Ashley. This is Jalen Black. I'm the daughter of Mike Black. Good to have you on tonight.
Hi, thank you. It's nice to meet you.
My question for you, so growing up, I played basketball, for North Laurel, and we'd always do conditioning on the track, and always walking up there, I'd see the name Ashley Woolham on multiple records on the sign up at the track and field place. And so it's good to finally, get to ask some questions about the name I've always seen over the years. My one question is, what lessons did you learn through high school sports that have stayed with you into life?
Oh, that's a good question. So I would probably say like having a dream and a goal and working hard to pursue your dreams. So I always wanted to work hard to break a new record or to help the team win regional or just to be getting a better time or a better distance. So from that, I've taken into, as an adult, like giving it all, jumping in head first, following my dreams, like going back to school, to changing careers. That's just what I've taken from it, and it's just helped me become the person that I am today.
Ashley, for those that may not know, talk about what you did after high school. Did you continue with athletics after high school?
Yes. So I got a scholarship to run track at Eastern Kentucky, which I accepted. And then when I went to there, I was able to compete with more people, where I was able to get further jumps in. My times improved. And I'm actually still the second placed highest high jumper at EKU, which is really special to me. So I was able to better myself there.
Absolutely. So what events did you focus on? I know in high school, a lot of times, with athleticism, you may run in multiple events. What did you focus on at EKU?
So at EKU, I was primarily a jumper. So I did high jump, the long jump, and triple jump. And then about sophomore year, I changed and decided to do like the heptathlon, which is the outdoor event that you're doing 7 different events. And then for the indoor season, I did the pentathlon, which had 5 different events that you would do over a day. So I got to experience a lot of different track events during my career, and it was really fun.
Yeah. Now my track knowledge is kind of limited. The heptathlon. Is that what you said? I do remember. I watched the Olympics. And does that involve some field events as well, or is that just mainly running?
Yeah, so for the heptathlon, they have running events like they have an 800, 200, and then we have throwing events like the javelin, shot put, and then you also have like field events such as long jump and high jump, and then hurdles. So it's like every aspect of track is included in those heptathlon events, which was really a cool experience.
Yes, I would say so. That it's cool just watching that, because you have to be just such a versatile athlete to be able to compete at a high level on all of those, and not just focus on one event.
Yeah, it was just good to get out there and do my best and have that experience.
All right. What advice would you give to students who are participating in track and field today?
So some advice I would give is just to keep pushing yourself, keep your dreams big, keep your ambitions big, and work hard, but stay humble as well.
That's great. That's great advice. Ashley, for people who may not know, tell us where you are right now and what you're doing as an adult.
Yeah, so I live in Erlanger, Kentucky, which is in the northern part of Kentucky. And right now I work as a nurse on a neuro unit at the Mercy Hospital. But I just got accepted into the nurse practitioner program at UC. So I should be starting that next week. So that's where I am, and I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah, that is great to hear. And congratulations to you. Any final words or thoughts that you would like to share with us here on the Jaguar Den?
Sorry, I'm still at work, so you might hear background.
That's awesome.
But
You're fine. That's
sorry.
fine. That's fine.
So some thoughts, I would say, don't be afraid to change, whether it's a sport, your career. Just have the courage to do it. Listen to yourself. There's a lot of outside voices that might tell you to do something different, but always follow your heart. That's the one thing I want to tell people.
That's great. Ashley, we look forward to seeing you on Thursday night at the Jags Gala. And thanks for joining us tonight on the Jaguar Den.
Yes, thank you for having me, and I can't wait to be there.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Ashley Woolham, 2025 North Laurel High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee and track and field legend.
All right, so we'll step aside for one more break and hear from our third and final 2025 North Laurel Athletic Hall of Fame inductee, Marcus Carson. You're listening to North Laurel Nation on Facebook and 98.5 WJTE Light of London. This is the first episode of the Jaguar Den live from the Palace.
Hi, my name is Mike Black, the principal at North Laurel High School. I'm joined by Athletic Director Ethan Everso, and we're excited that you've tuned in to the Jaguar Broadcasting Network. The Jaguar Broadcasting Network was a dream of mine to be able to showcase the talents of not only our student athletes, but our students who are actively involved in creating commercials, working behind the scenes in video production, and we're excited to see where this venture leads.
If you want to see your name or business come across the screen in one of our commercials done by our awesome sports marketing class, feel free to reach out to the school. You can contact me via email or via phone. We can make that happen for you. Thank you for tuning in to the Jaguar Broadcasting Network.
Go Jags.
The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the first episode of the Jaguar Den. This is Jalen Black and Mike Black, and we are now excited to hear from our third inductee, Marcus Carson, the baseball and basketball legend here at North Laurel.
Marcus, are you on with us?
I'm here.
Hey, Marcus, good to hear from you. Congratulations on your induction.
Oh, thank you.
How does it feel to be honored as a North Laurel Hall of Fame inductee?
Yeah, it feels awesome. It's one of those. Once I guess this is what the third year doing it.
Third year.
Once that started, it's one of those. It's funny because you had a good career and had a good impact on just the school and everything, but it's still one of those surreal moments when you get the call, and it's one of those growing up, just being a big sports fan, you see all the Hall of Fame speeches and ceremonies, and no matter what level it is, high school, college, professional, it's always a special moment.
Yeah, like I said earlier, that was, this is the 34th year of the school, and several years back, I said, it's time. We need to start a Hall of Fame, and you see that stuff on television and people getting that call, but making that call for me, it doesn't get old. It sends chills through me to hear the excitement on people like you who've made that great impact, not only athletically but as a student in North Laurel, and then to get inducted is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
All right, Marcus, my first question.
North, it's just been great. It's one big family.
Absolutely. My first question for you is just a specific game or moment that really defined your high school athletic career. I have a few in mind that I barely remember, but.
Well, basketball, the one that sticks out is obviously winning region for the first time. That was a special team, and took everybody to make that happen. Basketball. It's funny because basketball memories kind of stick out more than baseball. I don't know why. I guess it just was my first love, and but in baseball, just we won region in my senior year, and I think that one was pretty special too, just because I was the only senior on the team, so it was one of those. It was all we had a couple eighth graders, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, and we're in the championship game, and I pretty much that whole year, pitching wise, I kind of just was in relief and as a closer. And in most moments like that, it's kind of getting towards the end of the game, and the quarter comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, you want to close this game out?" And Zach Hurley was throwing a great game, and it's like probably 9 out of 10 times I probably would have said, "Yeah, give me the ball and let's finish it." But, I'm like, let's give I think he's either the eighth grader or a freshman at the time. Like, let him continue on. So, give everybody good memories.
Yeah, those were some really good memories for me. This being my 18th year's principal, that time period there when you were playing both baseball and basketball is when we really, I think, started to see the tide turn athletically at North Laurel in every sport. Where we were competing at a high level in the region, and winning that first basketball region, like you said, you'll never forget that one either. Talk to us, Marcus, a little bit about who has had the biggest impact on you during your time as a student athlete at North Laurel, maybe a coach, teammate, or family member.
Yeah, I always got to start off with my parents. They were the first coaches, and also the first critics, especially my dad. But just always kind of having him and as my coach, growing up, and then really, you're for the most part your dad, unless you're any of the McWhorter brothers. Your dad eventually stops being your coach. You got to put a lot of trust just as a parent, in your coach. And Coach McWhorter, he's a second dad to me. We talk just about every week. Through some batting practice to the kids not too long ago, and it's one of those that as a parent, you put a lot of trust in the coach to not only teach you the game but teach you life outside of baseball. And definitely Coach McWhorter, and then you had Coach Conway in basketball, and Coach Sizemore. Coach Sizemore was probably one of those that he recognized. Obviously, baseball's my ticket to to college, and try to do everything he could to let me continue playing basketball, but really try to excel and grow in baseball. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And Mark Carson's a legend too, but Darren McWhorter's legendary as well. Still going strong as a baseball coach.
Right.
All right, Marcus, I want to talk a little bit about your life after after school. Obviously, you continued your baseball career at the University of Kentucky. Talk a little bit about what that path was like, playing at the next level.
Yeah, playing at the next level. That's a dream that every kid has. Whether it's baseball, basketball, whatever, football. Just being able to wear Kentucky across your chest and represent. You get to represent not only your high school and your county, but also just the Commonwealth in general. So that was pretty special. You go from being one of the best players in your area to playing with everybody on the team was their best player from their area. You had Mr. Baseball, award winners from all over the country, and you're going up against not only in just practice, but then you get into the season and you're playing up against the best of the best. There's I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day. We were kind of talking about, he played baseball too, and we were kind of going back and forth about guys that's in the big leagues that we played against or played with, and it's just kind of crazy to list those out and realize how special it was to get to play with and against those guys.
Yeah, I would have to say that we all followed John Hooker back in the day when he was at UK, but really started following UK baseball again when you went there. And Jalen and I were talking about this the other night, and she still remembers the catch that you made at Louisville.
Yep.
Up against the fence.
Ended when I was growing up, playing softball.
Shout out to the Somerset guy for creating that one, because he ended up colliding with one of our other outfitters. Because I was, I think I was off that game or wasn't playing much that game, and then came in. So I always gave him a hard time. He gives me a hard time. Storm Wilson's his name, and he's like, if I would have got hurt, he's like, I would have been on sports. He's like, I don't think you would have jumped that high.
I don't think you could either. Yeah, you were talking about, Jalen, you were talking about remembering that catch.
Yeah, and I just remember being younger and still playing softball, and I was always playing, center field and anywhere in the outfield, and I was like, man, that's my dream right there, to be able to jump high enough to rob a home run at the next level. So that was just pretty cool as a kid to see that, and I still remember it to this day.
Yeah. Marcus.
One of those where, you're a kid growing up and, getting ready for school, and first thing you turn on Sports Center, watch the top 10 plays. So it's a pretty surreal moment to, be on there and, get to be at least in the same platform as all the great Stuart Scott and all those guys that growing up you watch them talk about the top 10 plays and thinking that's so cool.
We had Marcus Carson from North Laurel High School in London, Kentucky. I mean, that's an awesome moment. I have to ask this one last question, or I'm going to get in trouble from our producer. But who was your favorite teammate or your best teammate at North Laurel High School?
Well, that's a tough one.
Tough question.
Well, I have to give him a benefit of doubt. There's only one teammate that's called me to induct me into the high school, so Hall of Fame. So I mean, I got my catcher, Mr. Eversole, as the kids probably call him now. He's one of those that we played growing up, and his dad was another one of my coaches, and but there's so many to name that it's hard to say just one, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now.
Well, you answered that question correctly, Marcus. So I think he's going to allow you to go ahead and join us Thursday night at the Jags Gala. Now, if you would have answered that differently, he may have revoked this induction.
I get my plaque.
Yeah, I should ask you that on Thursday night. But man, it's so great talking to you, Marcus. Very well deserved inductee into the North Laurel High School Athletic Hall of Fame, and we look so forward to talking to you and seeing you Thursday night at the Jags Gala.
Thanks, and congrats on your retirement.
Thank you, man. It's been a great ride, and just talking to you and talking about these different memories, man, it just flooded with emotions right now. But thanks for joining us, Marcus, and we'll see you on Thursday night.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
The Palace family.
All right. So that was Marcus Carson, the third and final 2025 North Laurel High School Athletic Hall of Fame inductee. So we will take a quick break, step aside here at the Palace. This has been the first episode of the Jaguar Den. You're listening on North Laurel Nation on Facebook and on WJTE 98.5, The Light of London.
The Palace Family Entertainment Center has 60,000 square feet of fun and games, 18 bowling lanes, the largest arcade in town, an indoor go-kart track, a full-service snack bar, and now introducing Crazy Axes, our new axe-throwing facility. Ask us about our bowling leagues and birthday party rooms. Come for the thrills and excitement and stay for the fun. We have it all at the Palace on North Main next to Kroger.
All right, welcome back here to the first episode of Jaguar Den. We're ready to kind of close things off here, but
just a great evening.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Went really smooth, and always big thank you to Kip Jervis and Adam Webb and Ethan Eversole. There's been a lot of people who have stepped in to make this thing happen and to complete one of your goals, help you finish off before you retire.
Yeah, just an opportunity to showcase the student athletes in North Laurel. We've heard from the archery team tonight, bass fishing, and those kids work hard. Those kids are good at their sport, and they don't always get the recognition they deserve. So, next month we'll be back on June the 2nd here from the Palace, and we'll hear from our track and field teams and our tennis team as well. So very excited about that. And, thank you to our sponsors, and, thank you to Craig Tincher, who has allowed us to do this monthly program here at the Palace. And, if you're interested in sponsoring Jaguar Broadcasting Network, North Laurel Athletics, just get in contact with one of us, and we're just excited to be able to do this and be back on the air on June the 2nd.
All right.
All right.
As we always say,
go Jags.
Country gospel, you have found the source. It's the Light of London 98.5 for the old and new. And somewhere in between, we are the Light of London for the very best in country gospel.
We are the Light of London, 98.5, providing you with some of the very best gospel music around. And you can take us with you anywhere you go. For more information, visit us at www.lightoflondon.com.
This is the Jaguar Den on the home of all things North Laurel, FM 98.5, and the Jaguar Broadcasting Network via North Laurel Nation. This is where we proudly highlight all our student athletes and band members. You'll see and hear from basketball, cross country, soccer, volleyball, bass fishing, baseball, softball, track and field, golf, tennis, archery, football, swimming, cheer, and dance. Thank you for joining us in the Den.